Welcome back to the deep end. Today, we aren't just reading a book. We are taking a trip.
Hmm.
I want you to just close your eyes for a second. Picture the sun-soaked, gritty, maybe a little desperate music scene of California.
Oh, yeah, I can feel it
You
already.
know that vibe I'm talking about, right?
Right.
You can practically smell the stale beer. You can feel that sticky residue on the floor of a dive bar under your sneakers.
And the feedback from the amp. Don't forget the feedback.
Exactly, the feedback of an amp that has been kicked one too many times. We are diving deep into The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead.
It is a fascinating, messy, just wonderful place to be. On the surface, this book, it kind of presents itself as a rock and roll story, maybe a romance.
Right, a standard band story.
But when you actually peel back the layers, which is exactly what we're here to do,
Hmm.
it just transforms into this incredibly sharp dissection of the modern music industry.
Okay.
It looks at the mechanics of viral fame, and really, at its core, it is a story about grief that refuses to be polite or quiet.
That is the hook. That's what grabbed me immediately. We have a band on the brink of, total implosion.
Complete implosion.
A corporate fixer sent to basically put them out of their misery. And here's where it gets really interesting. A ghost that refuses to leave the stage.
And we should probably clarify, this is not a metaphorical ghost. This isn't just, a memory lingering.
No.
We are talking about a literal, very opinionated, very presence-heavy ghost.
Right, and we will get into the mechanics of that haunting soon. But before we jump into the weeds, I have to ask you, the listener, have you ever rooted for an underdog?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe have you ever felt like your glory days were already behind you, even if you were only, say, 28 years old?
That specific panic.
Yes, because that is exactly the headspace where we find our main characters. They are dealing with that panic of, I'm supposed to have made it by now, and I haven't.
It's such a potent setting for a story.
Yeah.
Because the stakes feel so incredibly personal. And to set the stage here, we aren't just looking at a will they, won't they band drama.
No, it's much bigger than that.
We're looking at a narrative that spans roughly 1 year, from about April 2024 to February 2025.
Hmm.
We are tracking this band, the Future Saints, from a disaster at a dive bar called The Hideout all the way to the Grammy Awards.
Wow.
And our mission today is to explore how tragedy gets commodified by the industry and how art, is used to process loss.
So let's unpack this. Let's meet the band. We have the Future Saints. At the front, we have Hannah Cortland.
Hannah.
The media later brands her the Queen of Sadness, a title that carries so much weight, which we absolutely need to discuss. She's the lead singer. She plays this baby blue Jazzmaster guitar. And when we meet her, she is just absolutely spiraling.
Yeah, wholly spiraling. And then you have Kenny Levins on drums.
Kenny, yeah.
Kenny's a great counterbalance.
Yeah.
He has this spiritual kind of hippie vibe. He's the peacemaker, always talking about the infinite collective. He really grounds the group.
He tries to, at least. And then there's Ripper Ravishankar on bass. Aggressive, loyal, shirtless half the time. But the problem is, despite their talent, they haven't produced a hit in years. They are washed up before they've even really begun.
And that failure, that's the catalyst for our other protagonist entering the picture.
Yes.
Enter Theo Ford.
Theo. I love the setup for this character. So Theo works for Manifest Records, and he has a reputation in the industry.
A terrifying one. They call him the fixer, or behind his back, the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
His job description is brutal. He's essentially the guy sent to underperforming bands to squeeze one last album out of them to fulfill a contract and then cut them loose so the label doesn't get sued.
He's the executioner of dreams.
That's it, exactly.
But, and here is the twist, the thing that makes him so compelling. He secretly wants to save them. He's not actually a corporate shark at heart. He's a music nerd.
He's a fan.
He's a total fan. He grew up listening to records with his dad who left the family, and he has this deep-seated need to make his dad proud by succeeding in the music business.
That psychological aspect is so key. He thinks if he can somehow master the industry, he could retroactively fix his family.
Yeah.
And the way he navigates this is so interesting visually. The text describes his uniform. He doesn't wear a suit.
No suits.
He wears vintage tees. He sources from New York in these really expensive Japanese denim jeans. He keeps his hair long.
That's camouflage.
Total camouflage. He dresses like the artists so he can blend in to gain their trust, but he's really there to execute the label's dirty work.
It's brilliant, but also
Absolutely.
manipulative, but also kind of sad. You're right. He just wants to be one of them.
Yeah. So Theo flies out to Bonita Vista, California. It's April 2024. He goes to this dive bar, The Hideout, to see the band he's supposed to terminate. And it is, well, it's not a stadium tour.
It's a complete and utter train wreck. Hannah is drunk, and not in like a charming rock star kind of way.
No, not at all.
She is sloppy, sad drunk. She's literally sitting on the floor drinking tequila straight from the bottle. And the crowd is heckling her. One guy yells, "Feed her more alcohol." It is a brutal, just humiliating scene to read.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But then something happens. Despite the mess, Theo sees it.
He calls it presence.
Yes. And then the band plays a new song. It's called 6 Feet Under.
This song is the pivot point. It's described as dark, raw, and just haunting. It's nothing like their old stuff, which was this kind of breezy California surf rock.
Right. This is pure pain set to music, and it stops the room. Even the hecklers shut up.
They do.
And Theo realizes right then and there,
Yeah.
they aren't failures, they are broken. And broken. Broken is something he can sell.
So he goes backstage, right? Tries to pitch himself as a helper. "Hey, I'm Theo, your new manager." And Hannah, she's not having it.
Not at all.
She sees right through the vintage tee. She tells him go back to the suit factory.
Which is such a great line because it just strips him of that costume we were just talking about.
Exactly.
But this backstage confrontation, it reveals the core wound of the book. We learn why the band is spiraling. Their manager died 10 months ago.
But it wasn't just their manager.
No, it was Ginny, Hannah's younger sister.
This is crucial. I mean, Ginny isn't just a plot point. She is the literal heartbeat of this story. Hannah isn't just grieving. She is haunted. And I mean that literally.
This is where the book takes a really unique turn into, well, you could call it magical realism or maybe psychological realism.
Yes, it walks a fine line.
Hannah doesn't just miss Ginny. She sees her. She talks to her. Ginny appears in the backseat of cars, on the beach, in the studio.
And Ginny isn't this, like, spooky, wailing ghost, you know?
Not at all.
She's snarky, she's critical, she's protective. There's a scene where Ginny mocks Hannah for thinking Theo is hot.
I love that scene.
She's like, "Are label reps legally allowed to be this hot?" It's heartbreaking because you realize this hallucination is Hannah's mind trying to keep her sister alive, but it's also really funny.
It's survivor's guilt manifest. Ginny represents everything Hannah lost, but also her own self-criticism. Well, Hannah feels like she corrupted Ginny. She convinced her to drop her med school plans to manage the band, and now Ginny is dead. So the ghost is this constant reminder of her own perceived failure.
That's a heavy burden to carry. So, okay, we have a grieving band, a fake manager, and a ghost. Now we need the spark that lights the fuse. And weirdly enough, it's a faceplant.
The viral moment. This is such a modern, sharp commentary on fame. So the band fills in for a gig at the Sunset Theater.
Okay.
Hannah's performing, she's in the zone, or maybe she's just wasted and she tries to high-five the audience.
And she falls face first off the stage.
Face first. Just totally eats it. Now, you know, in 1995, that might have been a career ender or just an embarrassing story you tell in a bar.
But not today.
In 2024, it's content.
Someone films it, it goes on TikTok, and the hashtag is just genius. Hashtag it was going so well.
And this is where the expert insight of the book really comes in. The internet doesn't want perfection anymore. They want relatability. They want a meme. The source material gives these great examples of the TikTok trend that follows. You have this user at Gemini Hype Woman comparing Hannah's fall to her dropping out of fashion school.
And there's another one at Awesome Williams 1 who compares it to getting a speeding ticket because he talked about football to a cop.
It's amazing.
It's fascinating because they aren't laughing at her in a mean way. Exactly. It's more like they are using her failure to validate their own messes.
Exactly. Hannah becomes the poster child for the mess. And suddenly, the future Saints aren't famous because their music is good, though that new song, 6 Feet Under, is catching on. They are famous because Hannah is a disaster that everyone can identify with.
And the label, Manifest Records, they smell blood in the water. Specifically, the CEO, Roger Braverman.
Right.
We have to talk about Roger.
Oh, Roger. Roger is the villain of the piece, absolutely. He represents the complete corporate commodification of art.
100%.
He sees this viral trend, and he doesn't say, get that woman to rehab. He says, extend the tour, capitalize on the buzz.
He's the guy who tells Theo, we don't need an album, we need eyeballs. He loves money and hates art.
Right. And as the band's profile starts to rise, the media narrative solidifies around them. Rolling Stone sends a reporter, a guy named Matt Sanford.
Oh, I love the description of Matt. Hannah expects some, like, leather jacket, seen-it-all rocker journalist.
Yeah, some grizzled veteran.
And instead, this guy shows up looking like a library assistant in a tweed blazer.
But Matt ends up writing the article that brands Hannah. He calls her the Queen of Sadness.
And he doesn't just interview them, he embeds with them. He goes to this party in San Francisco with Dr. G, who is this ayahuasca shaman friend of Kenny's.
That scene is wild. They drink tea, which is definitely drugs.
Definitely not Lipton.
And even Theo, the suit, the Grim Reaper, he partakes.
And that's a turning point for him, isn't it?
It's a huge turning point for Theo. He starts to shed that corporate skin. He starts seeing the band not as a liability on a spreadsheet, but as his band. He starts falling for the music and, well, for Hannah.
The romance. We have to mention the romance. It's classic enemies to lovers gold.
It really is.
Hannah thinks he's a corporate spy sent to destroy them, which, to be fair, he kind of was at the beginning.
He was, yeah.
But then they have these moments, like when they're recording at Blackbird Studio in Nashville, working on a song called Shrines.
The lyrics there are so telling. The line is, "I have no heart to give, but my body doesn't know it." Hannah believes she is dead inside. She genuinely thinks she died when Ginny died. But her body is betraying her by feeling things for Theo.
But the complication is just massive. I mean, Theo represents the entity Manifest Records that is actively, deliberately exploiting her trauma for profit.
And Roger Braverman takes that exploitation to a sickening new level. There's a moment where Roger literally engineers a feud between Hannah and a pop star named Sasha, the pop princess.
Just a drive engagement.
Just for clicks.
Yeah.
But the low point, the absolute nadir, is when Roger sends a photographer to stalk Hannah at the cemetery.
Oh, that made me so angry reading it. Hannah is visiting Ginny's grave, having a private moment of grief.
And there's a paparazzo in the bushes. And it turns out Roger set the whole thing up because Sad Girl at the Cemetery is on brand.
It's just disgusting.
It's disgusting. But it's also a powerful critique of how we consume celebrity trauma. We want to see the tears, but we don't want to think about the actual human cost. Roger represents that cynical view that trauma is just a marketing hook.
So the pressure is building, they're viral, they're recording, Rolling Stone loves them, they're booked on SNL, it's all happening. But then the hammer drops.
The New York Times review.
Right. The critic, Jerry Hughes, he reviews their upcoming album One Day Virginia before it's even out.
An advanced copy.
And he trashes it.
Completely trashes it. He calls it immature and self-flagellating.
And this is where the misogyny just drips from the page. He dismisses young female grief as theatrics.
He basically says, why do we care about this girl's sad feelings? It's messy and embarrassing. He completely invalidates her art because it's emotional and it's feminine.
And Hannah, who already has zero self-worth, just completely spirals. She reads that review and thinks, see, he's right. I am a fraud. My grief is a joke.
And then the corporate betrayal is even worse. Based on that one bad review and the fear that the buzz is turning negative, Roger decides to shelf the album.
He cancels it after all that work.
It's pure risk aversion. He'd rather take the loss than risk a flop. And he gives Theo a choice, a literal crossroads moment.
Okay.
He says, Theo, if you betray the band, if you help us bury this album and cut them loose, I will make you president of artist relations.
The promotion, the thing he's been working for his whole life,
Yeah.
the thing that might finally make his dad proud.
The whole reason he's in this business.
And Theo, he looks at the promotion, he looks at the band, and he chooses.
Chooses the band.
Goes nuclear.
Totally. He leaks the news that Manifest is blocking the album to music business worldwide. He even gives a quote.
What's the quote?
He cites cowardice from the top.
Wow! He burns his own career to the ground to save their art.
He gets fired, obviously.
Instantly.
He is now truly the Grim Reaper, but of his own resume.
But he does one more thing first.
Yes. To cheer Hannah up, to remind her why she even makes music in the first place, he books them a gig.
Not a stadium. Not a festival.
The Bonita Vista High School dance.
Their old high school.
It's such a perfect, Nirvana music video moment. They pull up in a van, they play in the gym.
And the kids, the teenagers who know them from TikTok.
They go feral. They absolutely love it. They know all the words.
And that's the realization, isn't it? That the critics, the Jerry Hugheses of the world, they don't matter.
Not at all.
The connection with the audience is what matters. And Hannah realizes she doesn't need to will Ginny back to life with her grief. She needs to let her live through the music.
It's a shift from haunting to legacy. That's beautifully put.
So they are free from Manifest. And Theo starts his own indie label, Ford Records.
Which is a huge risk. I mean, he has no money, no backing.
But the Saints sign with him. They decide to release One Day, Virginia, independently. It's a massive hit, just huge. And the critical reception completely flips.
Pitchfork, which is arguably cooler than the New York Times anyway in this world, gives it a 9.5.
A 9.5.
They call it an elegy dedicated to the human condition.
Take that, Jerry Hughes.
Exactly. It validates that the emotion wasn't immature. It was universal. Everyone got it but him.
So all of this leads up to the grand finale, the Grammy Awards. It's February 2025, but there's a catch.
A big one.
The band has announced they are breaking up after the show.
Yeah. Hannah needs to heal. For real. She can't keep touring this trauma. She needs to get real help. So this is the farewell.
Describe the scene for us. Outside the arena, what's happening?
It's incredible. There's a fan movement. The hashtag is #PatronSaintVirginia.
Oh, wow.
And fans are outside the arena wearing these homemade shirts honoring Ginny. They have turned Ginny into a saint, not in a religious sense, but in a we see you, we remember you sense. It's so powerful.
And the performance, they play a song called Tomorrow is the Beginning of Forever.
Visually, it's just stunning. They have these huge screens behind them. And instead of flashy graphics or, pyrotechnics,
It's just home videos of Jenny.
just home videos. Ginny graduating, Ginny surfing, Ginny sleeping with a drawing of a drawing on her face. That classic sibling prank.
It's so raw and real.
And this is the payoff of the whole book. As Hannah is singing, as she's sharing Ginny with the world, she stops seeing the ghost.
But hallucination fades.
It's gone. By giving Ginny to the audience, by letting the world carry that memory with her, Hannah doesn't have to carry the ghost all by herself anymore.
Oh, I love that. Grief shared is grief diminished. Or at least made bearable.
Precisely. Becomes a celebration instead of a haunting.
And then they win. Record of the Year for Family Fruit.
And Theo is included in the nomination and the win. It's the validation of his entire journey, right? From suit to artist/producer, he gets his Grammy, his dad sees it on TV.
The ending of the book isn't a simple happily ever after in the traditional sense, though.
No, it's more complicated and realistic than that.
Hannah and Theo are backstage. They kiss. But she's leaving.
She's going to rehab, a place called the Atone Center. And this is so important. The book doesn't say love cures addiction or success cures grief.
Right.
It says she needs professional help to actually process this, and she's finally ready to accept it.
But the promise is there. Theo tells her he'll wait.
And the final image is Theo in his new office at Ford Records, successful. And he's looking at a sticky note he has about his dad that just says, one day, maybe.
So it implies he might finally reach out. It's not about fixing the past, but about the promise of a better future.
It is.
So what does this all mean? We've gone through ghosts, Grammys, and vintage teas. What's the big takeaway here?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is the deconstruction of the tortured artist myth.
Okay. Unpack that.
We so often romanticize the idea that you have to be miserable to make great art. Roger certainly thought so. The media bought into it. But the book argues that Hannah didn't need to be miserable to be good. She needed to heal to survive. The art was the vehicle for her healing, not the end result of the damage.
And it also, I think, it validates fangirl culture in a really beautiful way.
100%. It wasn't the highbrow critics who saved the future saints. It wasn't Jerry Hughes.
No.
It was the TikTok teens. It was the girls in the Patron Saint Virginia shirts. It was Minnie, the super fan at that first dive bar gig. The book is saying their passion is valid. Their taste is valid. They recognize the authenticity long before the experts did.
I love that. It's a love letter to the fans who actually listen, who connect on that deeper level.
It really, really is.
I want to leave the listener with one final thought. The band's name, The Future Saints. There's a line in the book explaining it.
It's a great line.
We might be devils today, but I swear we'll be saints tomorrow.
It's all about potential. It's about forgiveness, especially for yourself.
Exactly. It's the idea that your worst moment, your faceplant at the Sunset Theater, your breakdown on the kitchen floor, that doesn't have to define you forever. There is always a tomorrow.
And that if we can just survive the today, we might just make it to the sainthood of having survived.
Oof. That hit me right in the chest. Thank you so much for breaking this down with me. This was The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead. Go read it, go listen to some loud music, and we'll catch you in the next deep dive.
See you there.